server separately, MySQL and PHP. The problem is that now the latest version of PHP is 8, and if you see just a few years back the version was 4, then version 5 came, then 6 came, then 7, and present the PHP version is 8. And similarly for MySQL different versions are there, so their compatibility issue was there. So what we can do as a, we can install AMP. So there is a integrated suite. This is an integrated application or suite. Just we can download and we can install. Now when we have to install on Windows server, so this suite is known as Windows compatible WAMP. And when we have to install on Linux platform, then it is known as LAMP. And when you have to install on Mac operating system, it is known as MAMP. Now irrespective of the operating system, so there is another version, XAMPP. So double P stand for support for PHP and Perl. So whether working is same. So now there are two things. Whenever we deploy as a either individual component or integrated. Individual means standalone. You can install Apache as a separately, then MySQL, then do the integration. Or second option is that we can use the integrated. That is your WAMP, LAMP, MAMP or XAMPP. Now in this route there are two things are important: data directory and configurations. Data directory means where we have to host our website, where to put our website, where we have to put our HTML, PHP pages. And second is about the configuration. Through configuration you can control how end users can upload how much data, up to 8 MB or 32 MB, 64 MB or more. Even you can control many other security features, password protection, multiple sites, web hosting, password protection, and many more things. So there are two things you must be aware of this, where these files are there and how to store these, how to use these data directory. So in case of WAMP, the data directory is in under the HTML and the directory is www. So your path where, let's say you have installed WAMP on Windows under, let's say, C directory. So there might be the folder by the name WAMP. You can rename also. Under this there will be HTML and there will be other folders also. So your data directory or your web pages must be stored in this folder www. And in case of LAMP, MAMP and XAMPP, the directory is htdocs. So in our case we have XAMPP server through which we are using our own website and also our intranet website. We have two websites, one for the public domain and one within our institute. So for there we are using this directory htdocs. So in case if you are installing in Windows, so again it will be like C XAMPP some HTML or some folder and htdocs. So these two things you have to take care, must be aware. So now first I will tell you about our own institute case study, and then we will see about some basics of PHP, and then finally installation and configuration of XAMPP server. now any doubt, question, query, parallelly I'm looking for your chat messages. So if any query is there, you can immediately write on the chat box. Mr. Dharendra has mentioned here Apache. So any question related to that, sir? Okay. So now on our intranet and internet we have used. Okay. So now one thing we understood, then for dynamic website we required one database. This database was developed by three developers, and one of the developer name was Mai. On her name they have given the name MySQL. Now this has been purchased by Oracle. Oracle paid $1 billion to this database. Now Oracle is the owner of this MySQL. And when you install latest, so you will see instead of MySQL there is a MariaDB. So Maria is the name of one another daughter's elder daughter name, one of the developers elder daughter name MariaDB. So whenever we have to install such kind of application, we have two options. As a individual component, we go to the php.net, we can download the php. We'll go to the MySQL or MariaDB, oracle.com or MariaDB, we can download this database. And similarly, we can go to the apache.org website and download this Apache. Now, when we try to bundle that or configure that, the problem comes with sometimes with the compatibility issue of the versions. So instead of that, there is another integrated suite is there by the name Xampp. If you are going to install on Windows, so you can install Xampp on Windows platform. W stand for Windows, Apache, MySQL, or MariaDB, PHP, and for Linux platform it is LAMP. And for Mac operating system, you have this suite, MAMP. Now you want something which must work on Linux platform also, Mac operating system also, and Windows platform also. So another version is available by the name XAMPP. X stand for any operating system. So I hope now, Mr. Pramod, is it clear to you? Okay. Now, in case of XAMPP, the data directory is in www. So once I show you the installation, you will see this directory is there, www. You have to put your data here. And in case you want this to be changed, this is the default one. You can change in the configuration path. There are paths like in case of IAS, the default home page is index or default.html. That can be changed in the configuration files. By default, this is a data directory, and home page is index or default.html or PHP. And in case of LAMP, MEMP, and XAMPP, the data directory is htdocs. So like in our case, we are using htdocs. In the presentation also, you will see the same path. So our data directory is there. So up to here, you just this is a thing, and then okay, there is a one question. If need to download any software like XAMPP or WAMP, told us so we can download. I will show you. I will share the link. It's very easy. It will not take more than 10 minutes. Nowadays, just you download and run the setup. That's all. So first let me clear the concept and I will give you the demonstration, and link I will provide you. All of you can download. So now in this Apache server, we will see about how to set up the web server hosting a website. The same thing you can deploy in your own organization, in your own institute. So then we'll see about how to host a website. And if you have the real IP, all of you can access. If you don't have the real IP, if you have local IP, anyone can access in your intranet or in your local area network or in your organization or in your campus. Then you can allow multiple users to host their websites on your server. So like you might have seen uh, the many publications or authors, they write the university name. Like if you go to MIT.edu, you might have seen there they have used some author name. Let's say some author name by the name. Okay, let's say Gonzalez. So this exclamation means if you are aware of the Windows operating system, so all users are under C documents, under C, then documents, the users directory is there. But in case of Linux platform, all the users are under home directory. So users can just under the home, let's say there are three users. User one, I am representing by user one. Then for second user, it will be under home user two, and for third user home u3. And just they have to, there will be one folder. There will be one folder, and they will put the data there automatically on your. It will integrated with your website. So how to identify user one? So it will be identified by like this symbol user one, tilde symbol user one. So in this way they can access their website. Similarly for user two, user three, and so on. So in this way you can allow multiple users to host their websites on your server. Then hosting multiple sites on a single server, that is known as virtual hosting. So initially when our website was like this, it was less secured. Let me use one uh, something marker for you. So now this in our server room, this was the switch, and we were getting the connectivity from the ISP. So earlier there were different ISPs were there, like from Reliance at that time, then from BSNL. Right now it's from NKN. So now for this web server, anyone can attack from outside. Anyone can attack from outside as well as from the inside. So after that we change the topology. So it will give you the idea. So now we deployed here firewall and DMZ zone. Now here you can see. So now our web server, which was earlier like in a straight away, now this our web server is in demilitarized zone. So no one can attack from outside, no one can attack from inside. So in this way, it has become secure using the concept of DMZ. So in previous case, if anyone want to access this web server, so this web server must have one real IP, and that and using the DNS, we have configured that real IP with the name NITTTR CSD.ac.in. So anyone can access directly either through that real IP or through the name. So if you write ping any website name, your college name or our, you will see the real IP. So anyone can trace that IP and start performing the attacks. So in DMZ, what we did, instead of putting the real IP, we have put that real IP in the firewall. And here the different IP, different from the LAN and different from the uh, real IP. So let's say real IP is in 220 series, 220 something number is there, and our this series is, let's say, 172 dot some series. So here we have put the 10 dot something. So neither they can communicate directly, no one can communicate directly to this web server. And after that, once this topology is ready, then we have to configure, we have deploy and install the XAMPP server on this XAMPP and the website. So we will see now how to do that. So why we require this web server XAMPP and etc. We want to share some information, and nowadays it is very important. So we can. This is something related to the Linux server configuration. I will share all these slides with all of you. You can go uh, later on more details, and it must be accessible 24 by 7. So web server, the component for web server, we are going to use Apache server. So how it works? It listen for the request from the client. So what is that? Typically browser, any browser, Google Chrome, Firefox, Internet Explorer, and it will process that request and return some data. And where is that data? That data is in the htdocs directory. So it could be in the form of HTML or PHP. It depends on your how you have, which technology you have integrated. So this is a typical static website. We have simple HTML content and the request and response based on the HTTP protocol. So Apache server, it is originated from another web server developed by the NCSA, and approximately at present there is a one website, a survey based website, where we have around uh, more than 120 crore 120 crore websites are there at present. So approximately 70% are using the Apache server. It is open source, more secure, more uh, flexibility is there. So these are the some of the features. So it support both secure protocol as well as simple HTTP protocol. So even you can do integration, and it supports also Java server pages, PHP, ASP, ASP.NET, and dynamic website, and many more features are there for the Apache server. And another important aspect of the Apache is that if, let's say, you want to develop some e-commerce websites or some payment based, so it is very easy to integrate. And nowadays you might have seen various LMS, CMS, like Moodle is there as a LMS, learning management software. So that is also is developed in the PHP programming. So for that also you require WAMP or XAMPP server. So there are like various content management server through which you can develop dynamic websites. So I will share that also the information. So it's very flexible, easy to install, and many features are there. So now how to host your website? So that this is a directory for Linux server, and in case of Windows it will be C slash your server name and htdocs in case of XAMPP, or in case of WAMP it will be in HTML. Even by default this Apache is already there, or directly you can install standalone. So standalone you can download directly from the Apache Apache website, and it will be the default, it's available. And then using these commands you can start the service. Now how to check whether it is working or not? So you can write http local if it's a standalone machine, and if your machine is not on the connected with the wired or on the internet, and if you don't have IP address, you can write this localhost http localhost. This is for the standalone machine. So in your case, after installing, you must run this, or you can write here, this is a default IP, reserved IP for this 127.0.0.1. And if it's your intranet server, then you might have got some IP address using the command ipconfig. In case of Windows, most of you might be aware of this command, and in case of Linux, you can run this command. It will show the IP address. So using that IP address, you can see it is working or not. Then next is about the how to do the customization. So the configuration file is httpd.conf. So name may change, or apache.conf. So it is under the conf file, and this is a document, right? And this is a user directory, and you can host the multiple. And this is a configuration if you want to allow users to host their website. So under each user, as I told you, like user 1, user 2, user 3, there may be a lot of other folders. So for website, there will be, they can create this folder public_html, and this name is already defined in the configuration file. And in case you want to rename this file, you have to change in the configuration file. So by default, this is available, public_html. So whatever the content they will put inside this, it will get reflected on the web server. Now how to access this? So it can be accessed by like user 1. So under, let's say under public.html, they have index.html and some content. So that content can be accessible using this link. And in case of Linux, some permissions are required: write, read, executable. So read and executable permission must be there. Otherwise, the other users will not be able to see the content. Because this slide is in respect to the Linux operating system. So this is an example. In this way, one can access the content. And in case you want some password protected your website, so just in the configuration file, you will write there some comment, the authorization name, and what type of authorization you want, basic, and you can create the user and their password in this file. And you say require valid user. Just by writing these four lines, your website will be secure and password protected. So auth name is a user defined label. You can give any label here. This is a password protected website or only for restricted users. And this is a password transaction client server, type is basic. Then this is related to the file which contain the user and passwords, and it's going to check the validity of the users. Then you can create the files. You can even create using HT password. These are the certain commands. And finally, when you want to host multiple sites, so there is a concept of virtual hosting. So on the same server, you can host multiple websites. And then you want, if you want in the real time, then you must know how to configure the DNS server. So like in our case, we have one IP address, we have this name. This name we have registered with the DNS server, and anyone can access using this name. So in the same way, you can configure another DNS name. So how to host multiple websites? You can give virtual host and like www. whatever the name you want to host, and document root. This is very important. Where is that directory? So home, some folder, and in this way, virtual hosting. So later on, this is the link, apache.org. Let me select this and copy paste on your chat box. So, or you can, or directly you can go to this website, apache.org. So I hope at least you got the idea of the web server. Next we will see about the PHP concepts, and then finally we'll come to the XAMPP server installation and demonstration. So during this week you are going to learn the PHP. So I have taken this lecture notes by Mr. Amrish from the Data Knowledge Engineering division. So in this we'll see about the what is PHP, what are the capabilities, what are the features of PHP. The official website of PHP is php.net. So most of you might be aware of the PHP programming. So these are the names like hypertext preprocessor. It's a server-side scripting language. If you know the HTML, you can integrate the PHP in HTML, or you can integrate HTML inside the PHP also. So HTML generate the web pages with these static contents and images, and you can even generate the dynamic web pages. So you can connect with the database. For example, you want to display the results of your students. So you can store their data in the database and just create one page, the format and some fields like name, student name and result, and just put on the Apache server. So now why it is called dynamic? Let's say there are 100 students in a classroom. If it's a static website, you need to create 100 pages, and those 100 pages you need to deploy on the web server. When we talk on the web page, there are three type of web pages are there: static web page, dynamic web page, and active web page. So static web page is just predefined. So we predefine the and put the content in advance, 100 pages for 100 students, and deploy on the web server. So that is known as static web page. Now what is dynamic web page? You need not to create 100 pages. You will have a database, or need not to be database, or it could be some flat file where some their data is there and their marks are available. So it could be in the database. Database is much better, or it could be flat file. Like in case of email server, it's a flat file system. Now when the user put their roll number or when they do the authentication, so automatically what will happen based on the template, the data will be fetched from the database and it will generate on the fly. Web page is not predefined. It is generated on the fly. Because of that nature, it is known as dynamic web page. So you can take another example of your mobile bills. So whenever you want to check your mobile bill or telephone bills or any other bill, so those pages are not pre-generated. Based on the query, it fetch the data from the database and generate on the fly. So that nature is known as dynamic web pages. And what is active web pages? So like using scripting language, VB script, JavaScript. So you are displaying some content based on certain condition. If it's a daytime, then do the alert good afternoon. If it's evening, then you say good evening, like that. Or some banners could be there. You can control based on certain criteria. So those are known as active content. So easily you can generate the dynamic web page using PHP or JSP, Java Server Pages, .NET, etc. So how it is working? So this is a client. Client is sending a request to the web server. So how to integrate? It's simple. You can see the code here. Question mark. There are three ways we can integrate the PHP code. So one is that question mark PHP, and you can end the PHP code and end with this. Second way, you can write simple script language is equal to PHP, and then just like JavaScript, and you can close. So this is a better one, and question mark. Or third, you can write just put the question mark and and the question mark. Then it will do the interpret the PHP code. So on the client side, the client will not become because on the browser they can go to the view source. If you right now, if you open any website and say view source code, you can see the source code. But in case of dynamic web pages, it will get interpreted by the PHP code, and the client will not be able to see the PHP code. Whatever has been interpreted or interpreted by the server, only that will display on the client side as a code. So like this here, browser create the web page here. There will be server response, and this is simple HTML code. So why PHP? Because of the lot of features are there, simplicity, and lot of inbuilt functions are available. And in addition to that, it is an open source. So what are those features? So it has almost all programming language features such as control structure, function declaration, operators, and similar to any other compiled or interpreted language like C or C++. All those features are available. The first thing. And the three basic data types in PHP are like integer, double, or strings are there. And even you can customize into array and object. And it is known as dynamic typed or untyped. If you are aware, like in Python, you need not to declare the variables. So similarly here, variable type can change on the fly. It is a dynamic typed or untyped language. Just like your Python, you need not to declare the variables. Then you have, this is the PHP code where you are going to write the code question mark PHP. Then and in between you are going to write the PHP code. So server will see wherever it encounters a PHP, it will switch from HTML to PHP mode and do this interpretation, and you will get the result or output. So now how to use this PHP code? So as I told you, simple question mark you can use. You can use simple question mark starting as a question mark and end as a question mark. Second, you can use the script language is equal to PHP and end the script just like you do JavaScript. Third way, you can put the percentage and percentage. But the best way is to use this. Why this we have to follow? Because when you are writing HTML coding, there is a proper syntax is there, like head, body. Even if you don't follow the proper structure, some of the browsers are able to give the good results. But if you want that it must work on all kind of browsers, then proper syntax must be there. So always make to use this kind of practice, question mark PHP, and then write the PHP code and end with the question mark. All are applicable, but this is the best way. Then constants are defined by using the define function. You can define some constant and some value you can give. And similarly, you can define the function, and you can define the variable. Now how to, like let's say you have mentioned flower is equal to rose. Now you want to extract that value. So how to extract the value of the variable using the dollar symbol. Dollar flower. Dollar this. In this way you can access the value. And even you can do typecasting as per the requirement. Then very rich functions are available. Get type, set type, is set, etc. etc. Then PHP, I have any programming language as the operator, logical operator, arithmetic operator, assignment operator, comparison operator, logical operator. So all operators are available in PHP. And you can do the string concatenation by using the dot. Like in some language you use plus symbol. Like in Python, you use plus symbol if to concatenate two strings. But here we use the dot. So you can design one HTML form. When the person they will submit the form, you can capture all those variables and you can put in the database, and also you want to display on the web page. So there you can concatenate welcome Mr. So and so dot, and in this way you can display the variable. Then this is a very simple code like if statement, if particular condition, and PHP code else, you can give like this. Or you can even write just like in Python syntax, if condition colon, then code else and if. So both are available. So if you want to do it like similar to C programming, that is also uh, possible. And if you want to do like Python programming, that is also possible. So even for loops, initial value, the final value, and this is the increment. Then you can run the loops. Like in Python only we have two loops. Here we have three type of loops are there: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Functions, how to define any function by the name function. And then you can give the parameters. These are optional parameters. Like here function, say hello, and you can write whatever you want to do, and you can call this function. Then even you can assign some function to the variable in this way. And you can, if let's say this is a function that you have assigned to a function variable. Now how to invoke that function using that variable name and the parentheses will tell it this is not a variable, it's a function. In this way you can invoke the function, and whenever you any argument to be passed by, so if you want to pass by reference, use the ampersand. So both options are there. You want to pass by value or pass by reference, so you can send in this way. Arrays, so each element has a value, and there is a key is associated as an index. So how to initialize the array? In this way you can array, let's say array 1, you can give your student 1, student 2, like that, or you can give the index also. Or this is the third way. So how to initialize the array? Let's say we want to store 5 names, 5 variable in the array. So you can write in this way, or you can assign some index value 1, 2, 3 and give the number. Or this is the third one, is a better approach. Variable name array, and you can pass these values. And how to access the array elements? So again, now you want to print all the values. So now you have two value like list, key and value, and you can print that value. And similarly you can access the array element, and you can do lot of functions are there. Statistical functions are there. Sorting, you want to sort in reverse order, you want to sort the element in the array without changing the index, a sort is there. Sort the sorting using the key k sort. Then you can use the object oriented programming. So you can define a class, and how to define that? You can give the class name. So we know in the class we have two things, functions and properties. So you can define certain properties, you can initialize those properties also, and you can define the methods. And then after defining the functions, using you can create the object, and you can call these properties and function through that object. Then PHP comes with various options, database connectivity that you are going to learn. You can connect with the LDAP server for even for mail protocol. If you want to do your own mail server, you can integrate image functions. Even machine learning functions can be integrated with the PHP. Then you have regular expressions, and regular expressions can be used, these functions. Image generations, you can render the regular geometric figures. Then image generation and manipulations can be done using the GD library. And if certain libraries are not there, again you can download and integrate in the PHP, and again in the configuration file you have to enable that. So using this GD library, you can generate the graphics. In addition to that, you can draw the basic geometric figures, manipulate the colors, and many more. For sending the email, let's say some user is submitting, your students are submitting the form. So where that form will go? So either it will go to the database or to your email. So using this mail function, you design one HTML form and using this mail function and write your own email, it will come directly to your email. So even you can receive the using the IMAP protocol, then you can do the database connected with Oracle, MySQL, MariaDB, even with the NoSQL database. Like our Aadhaar system is on the MongoDB. So even you can integrate PHP with the MongoDB, NoSQL databases, ODBC based databases support. So if you are going for the Oracle, so these are the some functions with the Oracle. Then LDAP support. You can create the LDAP for authentication purposes. Then XML support is available for writing PHP based XML applications. And these are the few references that you can explore: phpbuilder.com, php.net. Now let me show you this php.net so you will get the better idea. Then finally now we'll come to the XAMPP server and installation. php.net. So for this php.net, let me zoom it. You can see the PHP, this is the latest version. Earlier 7 was there, then different versions are there. PHP. And if you want to see the documentation, you can go to the documentation and you can view or you can download this PDF. It is available almost in various international languages. So when you click on the PHP manual, you need not to purchase any book. So everything is mentioned here: installation, configuration, installation on Mac, Unix system, Windows. I hope this font is visible, or shall I zoom it? Please reply me once. Then you have the basic types: type, variable, constant, expression, operators, functions, classes and objects, exception handling, all those things. Security, you want to introduce some security, session security, file system based, database based security, hiding PHP. Then these are the features are there. Connectivity with the databases, connectivity handling, database connections, and these are the function references are there related to authentication, cryptography, database extension, human language character. Some of you might be doing some research. So image processing and generation, other basic process control, text processing, natural language processing. If you are working, you can, and many more. And these are the some history and what are the things they have done. So let me show you one or two example. This is a very easy and self-explaining so let's say we just to show you. Okay, let's say we'll talk on the classes and objects. So once you click on any of the classes and object, right side there you can see this is the table of content, and here you can make the object inheritance, static keyword, and these are the codes are an example. So you just simply copy and paste. So you are creating a class, and this is a class name is, let's say, FWO. Now how to create the object? Just like in Java we do, this is a variable object equal to new class name. Now this object is ready. Now, how to access these properties and functions? So simply by using this symbol, or even you can use this is a member, class member, or using the functions. So in this way you can see everything is self-explanatory. Object inheritance, the concepts are there, or any topic you can do. And again, you can explore, go to the PHP manual, or you can download the PDF. So these are the some of the other operations with the, if let's say you are interested in mail server database connectivity. So what are the functions are there? You can use either image processing, image magic, or GD library. And here you can see the examples, and these are the functions. You want to output the image to browser, draw an arc, draw a character horizontally, vertically. All those functions are there. You can see ample number of examples are given here. And if you click on the examples, how to create PNG creation with PHP. So simple, just you can see it's starting from the PHP code. You can write some content string, like you can make the captcha and using this, and you can show that image. So okay, let me, once we configure the XAMPP server, so you can simply copy paste the code and we'll run it later on. Next is about the text processing. So many functions are available. So now I hope you got the idea about the PHP programming. And this is about the Apache web server. And these are the functions, community, etc., etc. Now we will go to for the installation. So if you want to install XAMPP on Windows, you write XAMPP server. So you can see this is a website. Now there might be question, can we install both? Okay, let me ask you, can we install both XAMPP server and XAMPP server on Windows? Please reply yes or no. I am repeating the question. Can we install XAMPP server and XAMPP server on the same machine? So here I am now giving the link for both. Okay, there are many answers, yes. But if we install both, there will be issue. What could be the issue? Anyone has faced earlier? What could be the issue? So very rightly mentioned by, let me see the name, Rashmi Singh, error in connectivity, Roop Singh. Mr. Roop Singh has given the very correct answer. In our machines we have ports. So do you have the idea of the ports? Logical ports? How many ports are there? What is the port for HTTPS? By the time I will explain. DNS, Telnet, IMAP, SMTP. Because when once you want to send the email, you must have the knowledge of these ports. So what is the port for HTTP? Okay, very rightly. For HTTPS 443, very right. For DNS, for Telnet, for IMAP, for email. Once you want to deploy the email server, you want to send and receive the email, both the ports must be open at your firewall and secure shell SSH. So it's a 16 bits, and so it could be 2 raised power 16. So total port will be 65,536, and some of the ports are well defined. On one port, only one service can run. So like Mr. Amit has given correct answer for DNS, it's 53. For Telnet, it's 23. For secure, if you want to connect any remote Unix or Linux based system or using PuTTY in Windows, you can connect through 22. For IMAP, it's 143. For SMTP to send the mail, it's a 25. And also some secure ports are there. So these are the well-defined ports. Now let's say you have installed a XAMPP server first. So naturally it will run on 80 and 443 port. And after that, when you install XAMPP, when you try to start, it will not get start. It will start giving the errors. So what is the solution in that case? Either stop this service or change the port. So for XAMPP, you can make 8080 port, and for HTTPS, you can make 4433. Okay, now my question is that let's say our port is 8080, and let's say this port is 81. So how to access web server on the browser? Localhost, then what will write there? Explicitly will write the port number. When we don't write the port number, so it's a standard 80. So that is that information sent by the browser. And in case you change this, now we have to change in the configuration file. And when you change these ports, so then explicitly you have to mention these 8080 or 81 or any port you can give which is open, or it could be 800. So in this way you can access. So you can try to install both. So because of the time constraint, I'm going to show you this XAMPP server. So now we understood that for XAMPP server the data directory is www, and for this it is htdocs. So this is the link. You can also, it will not take more than 5 to 10 minutes depending on your bandwidth. So it's up to your choice. You want to install XAMPP server or XAMPP server. Now these are the links. Now I'm downloading. And also these things are important. Now it is mentioned that XAMPP release version is this. You can click here. So it supports PHP 7.3. Apache version is 7.0. MariaDB, you can see now it is coming MariaDB 10.4. And when you want to install Moodle, let me show you moodle.org. For your LMS, so once you click on the download, it will mention some versions. Standard Moodle, let's say this is a standard Moodle. Under this, it is mentioned here, it required PHP 7.3, MariaDB, MySQL. Now, it is very important to note one thing. You want to deploy content management server or LMS or some other application, and let's say you have downloaded the XAMPP and XAMPP server, and that PHP version is, let's say, 7.1 or 6 or something different, then it will create the problem. So first you should know what are the versions are available, then you can install that XAMPP server. So now let's say we are going to deploy this PHP. So what is the requirement? PHP must be above either 7.3 or above version. So now it supports. So that means it will work for us. And in case if it is required some other version, that you have to take care. So now we will download this Apache, friends. From here we will download this. So it's very simple. It's asking you want to deploy install in Linux environment or OS X environment or Windows, and along with the PHP version, or you can go to the old versions. So now I clicked on the download. Now it's downloading. Okay, let's say in the downloads, I'm creating one folder, XAMPP. Now before this, I want to check whether any WAMP or LAMP or any server is running on my machine or not. So how we can check? We can write here localhost. So what we need to write here, localhost. So now when I run this localhost, it is showing unable to connect. That means no instance is running on my machine. So sometimes IIS service is on, so that will show here. So whether you have to stop that service, go to the control panel, services stop, or change the port. Now after that we will go into install this. Now I'm showing the installation procedure. Run the setup. It will give the alert whether you want to install or not. Now here it is showing me one alert that it seems you that you have running the antivirus or some firewall is there. So do you want to continue? So yes, we have to allow it. Yes, and it's asking my one user account policy control, and it's giving me alert whether you see aware to install or you want to install this or deactivate. So on my machine it is possibly restricted, and you must keep it restricted. Otherwise, whenever you are downloading any software, and one very important thing, when you are downloading any software from the search engines, so there may be possibility some Trojan may come. So you must use sf.net. All of you must use the sf.net or the proper website instead of using the from Google. So otherwise those will be get installed. So I need to go to the UAC. For the timing I need to give the avoid the restrictions. Then we'll go for the XAMPP installation next. Now here it is asking what you want to install. So let me zoom it. So it's showing here these components: MySQL, FTP server, inbuilt Mercury server, Tomcat for Java servlet support, etc. Then programming language PHP, Perl, and PHP MyAdmin. This is a very good web page to control the various things. PHP MyAdmin. You can create the database directly instead of, let's say you are not comfortable with the SQL, like create database, update database, CRUD operations, different operations. You want to delete some database, so all those things you can do graphically using PHP MyAdmin. Then you can see the web analyzer, fake send mail, etc. Then you can go for this. Here, if you want to change this directory, that is also possible. Let's say you don't have much space in C drive, you can change even D, D, E drive or any other folder. So now I'm going with the default C XAMPP.
Sir, can I
You,
interrupt you? I have
yes,
a
yes,
doubt.
yes, sure, sure.
Sir, actually, there is already Tomcat 6.0 in my system. So will it create any confusion or any issue if I install this XAMPP which is having Tomcat 8?
Okay, I understood your question that already I have installed a XAMPP server with 6.0 version. So in that case, there will be one directory will be there by the name XAMPP. So
Okay.
what you can do, you can rename it. You automatically it will create folder. Like in my case now, I'm going to give XAMPP 7.
Okay, sir.
So in your case, you can also do like that. So I'm writing here XAMPP 7.
Okay, sir.
Then I'm proceeding next. So no problem. So even you can have multiple versions. Even you can have multiple versions, but directory could be one only there. So either you can rename at the backend, you can rename that to XAMPP 6, or you can rename here. As we know, two directories cannot have the or two files cannot have the same name in the same location. Or third option is that you can install in a different drive, like D drive, or in some different path.
Okay.
So now you have three options. Either you can install already you now you have 6 version, you can install 7 or 8 in different path. If you want to install in the same path, then rename either this folder name or that folder name.
Okay, sir.
Now you can proceed further. Next, next. Now quickly I clicked here. Okay, this link is very important. This Bitnami stack, and all of you now can deploy any application within 2 days. So what I mean by any application, let me copy this link to here. So by the time it's installing, let's start installing. So just note down this link, bitnami. Very, very important and very easy to use. So let me copy this link. So once you click to this bitnami.stack, let's open that page. This is a catalog. What you want to do? You want to deploy WordPress, Joomla, bug tracking, CMS, developer tools, infrastructure like web, e-learning tool, Moodle. Even most of you might be using Google Drive and for share your data and Dropbox. So you want same thing in your own organization, you can use own cloud. Just download and put in the which directory? XAMPP data directory. And if you are aware with the Jupyter notebook, you can deploy this application server. Then for e-commerce, you can deploy Magento, you can deploy Jupyter Hub, you can deploy cloud-based platform like Blueprint, LAMP platform, HTTP proxy. Then for e-commerce, there are various tools are available. One is PrestaShop, another is Magento. Then like you want to deploy Wikipedia, so you can use MediaWiki. You want to use infrastructure based or version control, you can deploy this CMS. All are in PHP. Redis, Sentinel, Alfresco. Like in Microsoft, there is a one CMS sort of thing. I'm forgetting the name, where you can control. So in open source, there is Alfresco is there. This is the alternate to the Microsoft technology. Then you can deploy NoSQL database, PHP. Now you want some discussion forums. Nowadays, all of us we are teaching online. We want some online forum. So students can pose a question and anyone can do the answer. So those you can control with moderator and without moderator. You can create these forums. Then you can do the Django developer tools, OS, application security testing, online class. Like in the newspaper, we have the online classifieds. So using this OS class and DokuWiki is also very good, just like your Wikipedia. You want to do some analytics, you can use these tools. Then and Wavefront is there. Then you have project management, database connectivity, bug tracking, Tomcat, Jenkins. So all are freely available and under open source. Then you have a typo for CMS, Nginx, LDAP authentication daemon, Open LDAP. You have integration with the ASP.NET. Then .NET. You have poll management. You want to conduct some poll. You can conduct this poll management. Then whatever you want to deploy, everything is now very easy and possible. So I will show you 2 or 3 applications from here, and in the same fashion you can do with any of these applications. And for machine learning, Apache MXNet. Hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, there was some disconnection at my end. So I'm sharing the screen again, entire screen. So now my this XAMPP server is ready. So do you want to start the control panel? Now using this control panel, we can control our XAMPP server. Let's say I'm not interested in database. I'm interested only for the simple PHP and Apache. So there I can stop the MySQL. So how to use this? So you can open this control panel. I hope now you can see this Apache MySQL. Right now it is not running. If I write here right now the HTTP localhost, it will show no service is running. So that we can control from here. And this is a configuration file. and it is showing the installation directory. It is under xampp 7. Now if I write here localhost, I have written here localhost http localhost. So still it's not showing anything. So now I'm going to start the service, and in case if the and in case if it's already and in case if it's already running, then it will not get start. So now I'm starting. Not showing the process ID, and it will show the port here. So if you want to start now, which ports now? I hope you can see, all of you can see the port. You can see now it's showing 80 and 443. And in case if you want to change, go to the configuration file. So what is the configuration file? It's httpd.conf. And there you can see this is a server root. You can change here also server root. Let's say you want to change your directory somewhere else from default. So that also you can change. And you want to change the port, listen. So you can make it 800 or whatever the thing. So as a practice, you try to make the changes at your end. And then you want to, these are the modules. You can uncomment. If something is not working, just see the documentation and just uncomment it. As is a comment is available. Class चल रही है online. So here now these are the modules. You can for big data analytics you require sometimes heartbeat module, or you can enable these modules. So all the informations are available. Let's say you want to add some features, so you install that module and automatically it will appear, or in this way you can configure. And so just like in Windows, we have DLL, dynamic link library, shared objects are there. And then this is a user group, and here you can control the virtual hosting. As I shown you on the first slide, you can control you can add those lines here, and you can do virtual hosting. And this is a document root where you are going to install. It's mentioned here htdocs. In case of WAMPs, it will be xampp www. And here you can do many other configurations. So as I told you about the authentication, you want to make password, just copy paste that content, that presentation content, and paste here. Here everything is mentioned here now. And whenever you do any change, you have to stop and start, otherwise it will not show the reflection or any changes. So now our server is ready. We'll now do the testing. So click on the localhost. Now it's showing potential security, because we have mentioned it HTTPS and we have not configured the SSL protocol. So simple, we'll write HTTP localhost. So our server is ready now. Our XAMPP server is ready. So guidelines are given here. And even from here, they have given the link to the Bitnami. And direct from here also you can go to these links. So next, now I will show you the last slide, and then we'll do some practical. Meanwhile, if anyone has any doubt, question, query, they can write on the chat box. So here I am creating one directory. I will share the content with all of you now. Contents. So now up to here we understood the importance of Apache server, then database server. Now on the XAMPP or LAMP server, what makes PHP special? It's instead of in addition to the open source and freely available, more than 100 frameworks are available, and it is compatible with all web servers. There is huge community, huge, and there is a mechanism against SQL injection. Okay, there is a question from Mr. Parag. The Apache shut down unexpectedly. This may be due to blocked port, missing dependencies, press log. But so, may I know you have installed web server or XAMPP server, sir? XAMPP. Okay, what we'll do, we will share your screen. Let me complete this. We will share your screen, and there we will troubleshoot.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
just wait for 5 minutes. So we can now, as we know, this is our code. This is our PHP code, and we have to deploy on the server. So there may be, let's say, there may be some password or some other things that you don't want to share the code, because this code has to be run on the server, and the person who has the server control, they can see your code. So what you can do, you can obfuscate your code using the library. So instead of deploying this code, you can do the obfuscation of your code also. So like this. So you can deploy this rather than deploying this code. You can deploy this code and it will work. Now there is a one website, Westphalia, which has a millions of queries, millions of web pages per month. Various visitors are there. What they are using? MySQL database. So one thing is now sure that these technologies are very promising, very useful. Google, YouTube, Facebook, all are using these technologies, and these are the some frameworks for professional cake PHPs, and some are paid and some are freely available. So these are the frameworks, and selection creator built-in support is there, international language support, local language support. Even you can let's say you want to write in you want to create the web pages in Indian languages like Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Punjabi. So that is possible, that thing is possible. Multiple database supports are there, authentication modules, template engine. Then you can create the secure captcha, and how to create the captcha implementation inside the, you can generate the image. As I told you, which library we have to use, we have there 2 3 libraries are there. One is a GD library. We can show this is a source, and we can show this, and this is a link. On click, this will get activated. So you start the session, just you simple copy paste once the things are ready at your end. Even if some of you are working with the LaTeX code, you want to generate certain equations, so that is also possible. Like here we want to do the sum of from A to B, summation we want to show, so that can be done. So if we want to generate these equations, so these are also possible. Even you can create dynamic animated charts using PHP. You want to show these sort of things, you can use include charts.php, your data, like these are the arrays, and these are the values are there. You want to insert some chart which is in Flash or in other library, so that is can be also possible. And e-commerce solutions can be done using this PHP. You can do the code beautification tool. Now if you write in this way, it's not for another developer, it may not be well suited. So there we can try uh, in this way, or we can use certain libraries are there. Bug tracking, simple testing tools, and many tools are available. And these are the when we want to do one database, we can use this framework. There we can provide the host name where we want to deploy on which machine, database server, database name, and authentication fields. Then you can do and go through these links. So now come back to the, let me copy this also. So now I request you to all of you, please download this content right now, and then we'll go for the some more implementation and troubleshooting. So now on the your chat box, I'm sharing the link. Click on that and download these presentations. So now WinZip is not working at, so I will use 7-zip. So please download these three presentations. Just confirm me. Are you able to download? Please download these content, these presentations. Click on the link. Okay. Mr. Upinder, can you share what type of ID is required? Like some participants are asking file ID needed. It's a
No, sir.
direct link.
Sir, if you'll click on the link, then it will automatically get the entire ID. So instead of opening the wikisyn.com, we'll have to directly click on this link. We'll
So,
not have to do anything.
so all of you please download, click on the link directly and download it. Okay, now I will proceed further. So now up to here we understood about the features of PHP, how to do the installation. Now I will show you one two samples, then we'll come to the troubleshooting because some of the similar problem may come with other participants. So let's say for the best of our time, let's say we have already copied this code, or we'll take some simple code. We can go directly to php.net, or even there are many websites. From there you can get the code. So for example, can anyone can tell me where these kind of like for HTML JavaScript codes are available? There is one website by the name
Sir, HTML code, sir.
HTML, PHP, small codes. There is a one very popular website.
W3 School.
W. Thank you. So all of you can refer this. So just for the better, again on the most of you might be aware of this website. GitHub is very vast. Later on, you can explore GitHub also. More than 2 lakh codes are available on GitHub. So W3, you can learn CSS, JavaScript, Python, SQL, PHP. So just to run the how to run the code. Here on the left side, you can see installation, syntax, comment, variables, data types, math, simple math. Okay, let's say we want to run this pi value, or so we'll copy this code, open a notepad or notepad plus plus. Notepad plus plus is better. You can write additional HTML code here and there, and this is a comment. Now we want to run this code. Okay, let me add some more code here. So you can see we have 4 ways to run the PHP code. This is the best approach, right? The uh, question mark PHP and this. Now we want to show even you can run object-oriented programming here, inheritance, MySQL database connectivity, XML, Ajax, PHP. Some examples are there, and you have the options with the file handling. You can do the date and time. So format and this is so okay. So these 3 examples are sufficient. Now how to run this? Can anyone can tell me now how to proceed further? So where we have to save this code and what will be the extension? So just like another programming language, for Python we have py. So here the extension will be .php. So let's say I'm taking file save as, where we need to save under C directory, C folder. The folder name was XAMPP7. You can see already there was 3 versions of XAMPP, TIT and 7. So today we install. Now there are so many files are there. There are n number of files are there. So in which directory we have to save htdocs. And we'll write here test1.php. Now simple. So please write in the chat box how many you will agree with me. Is it right or wrong? What I did, I opened a notepad, write the PHP code. Now I'm saving this as a test1.php. So how many among you are agree with me whether it is a right or wrong? Mr. Upendra and other participants, please reply. Okay, one answer we got wrong. Any other answer? One more answer I'm waiting for, and one more answer. Then we'll see why it is right or wrong. Okay, let me show you. When we save this file, it will save as a. Okay, one more answer is coming. Even if I write in double quote, is it still right or wrong? So what will happen when we write this test1.php? Here we have read it's a default, it's a text document. So by default it will put extension .txt and you will not get the output. So what you have to do, you have to change this type as star. That means all type. So this thing, and then we can save. So even though these double quotes are optional, but it's better for the security point of view. From the, it's a good practice to make double quotes, and this encoding is also important. Then you save it. Now how to run this? Go to the, because it's a web server, go to your browser, write localhost, then slash test. I think what name we have given, test one. Then write test1.php. Can you see the output? There is a question, PHP file extension is a plain text file, so it is wrong. So I hope now you got the answer that we have to make the all file instead of from notepad. Now here you can see we got the these output, hello world, today is this date is this, dynamic. Now we see the source code. If we try to see the source code, right click and you can see the view page source. So it's not showing the PHP code. It is not showing the PHP code. It's showing the in the output form HTML. So now we'll come back to the troubleshoot and some queries. So there was one query from, now sir, can you share your machine?
Yes, sir.
FTC Parag. Now we'll see what type of issue is coming.
Okay, sir.
And meanwhile, if any other participant have any question, query, please write on the chat box. I can see the chat box. I will try to reply. No, okay. Mr. Pramod has asked, this setting is only for internet. This setting is both for internet as well for internet. The only difference is that you require real IP. If right now, if I could have the real IP, all of you could have seen this page using the IP address. And how to see that whether you are in the real IP or in this? So you can write the ifconfig command, ipconfig, and you can see I have some IP address 172 something. So it's a local IP. Okay, now we'll try to solve this problem. Reconfigure Apache and control panel to listen on a different port. So there is an issue with the port directly, problem detected. So in your case, 80 port is not issue. In your case, already some HTTPS, you are already okay. Now easily we have identified the sir has installed VM server, and under the VM where they are using 443 port. So what you can do, click on the config file. You have two options, either stop that VMware service, go to the Apache web server. Yes, click here. Then you search for the 443 LTF 443. Okay, Karan. Now you close this file. Close this file. You go to again config file. Now go to the httpd ssl.conf file. It is under SSL. Now click 443. Now you make it 4433. Make it 4433. Now save this file. File save it. Do it again. Now it's working.
Yes,
You
working,
can
sir.
see now the server is running. So in no time we got what was the problem. So now if you run its local host is working. Now try sir HTTPS. even though it is not configured, but you can try. Right, by default it is HTTP, so write HTTPS. Right, now when you try HTTPS, 443 is not working at your own. So what you can do, put explicitly colon 4433, 4433, remove the dashboard, put colon. So what is the no colon, remove the slash, uh, after localhost, after localhost put colon 4433. So even the site cannot provide secure connection, reload or try some, okay, we have not configured anyhow. So now your Apache server is running. So that means when you install any third party software like VMware, VirtualBox or some party, so there may be possibility that your some ports are being used by their services. So that was the issue.
Okay, sir.
But
Thank
you
you.
can run simple, now remove this 4433. Okay, you do one thing, for better clarity, you again go to the configuration file, go to your go to the configuration file, go to httpd conf, and now go search 80, now make it 800, in this very right, save it, then stop start. Whenever you make any changes in the configuration file, you can now try this http localhost. It will not work. Remove the colon, write simple localhost. No, it will not work. It's in the it's showing because of the local cache. You, if you refresh 2-3 times, it will start showing not found. If you refresh, so what you have to do, you have to put localhost colon 800. Hello, no madam. Hello, now run it. So that means now enter it.
Not working.
Go again to the panel, control panel. Now it's showing 800. So this site cannot provide. That means you are running some antivirus or some firewall is there on your machine. That is not allowing you to run different ports.
Yes, sir.
So you have to close that for that later on. But in this way we can work. Now you can revert back. So now either you have two options. You can close that firewall or antivirus on your machine, or go to the config and come back to this and convert into 80. Change it to 80.
Okay.
So in this way, all of you can try. Any other doubt, question, query with any participant? So what we learned today, we have seen about the how to deploy in the real time. When we deploy our work, we have to be very careful. Otherwise, any attack can come from outside or inside. So best way, we must have the firewall and DMZ zone properly configured. If you are going to deploy on your own premises, then you have to install XAMPP and WAMP. Again, you have to control, because by default there are certain passwords are there.